Hello, thank you so much for braving the cold and coming here tonight. I'm Sarah Lukovsky. I'm the Assistant Director of the International Program here at MoMA. I'm really pleased to have you all here with our fantastic speakers. This event grows out of Post, which is a website that my department oversees here. It focuses on regions that haven't historically been covered as well by this museum. So we're currently focusing mostly on Central and Eastern Europe, Latin America, as well as Asia. Post, of course, invokes post-colonialism, but it's also meant to invoke post, as in the male, and the transnational networks that were established by Mail Art and Mail Art networks. So kind of in this vein, we thought it would be great to have actual face-to-face conversations about a kind of cross-national or a cross-geographic conversation about art, seeing that New York has a lot of fantastic institutions that focus on particular regions, but rarely do conversations happen cross-geographically. So I'm so pleased to have Stuart Comer moderate this event, and in a moment he'll present our fantastic speakers to you. I just wanted to thank a couple of people. I'd like to thank Roxana Markoch, who is the Senior Curator in Photography here, as well as Magdalena Moskalevich. They invited our speakers here for an internal session at with one of our research groups here. I should also thank our friends at the library for hosting, as well as our Mellon Fellows, and Marta Danzi, Patricia Buffa, and our fantastic intern, Rohe. But over to Stuart. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah, and welcome, everybody. I'm Stuart Comer. I'm the Chief Curator for Media and Performance Art here at MoMA. And as Sarah mentioned, Post is sort of the primary public face for CMAP, which is an initiative here within the museum, again, as she mentioned, focused for the moment on 3 geographic areas: Latin America, Eastern Europe, and Asia. This year for the Asian group, we're focusing in particular on India. So Gayatri Sinha, to my left, has been meeting with us over the past week to discuss modern and more recent contemporary work from that particular region. But CMAP, in a way, exists both to reconsider modernism and modernisms within a more global context, is allowing us to do substantial research basically on these parts of the world, trying to think what kinds of narratives we want to develop here at the museum, both through scholarship and eventually through acquisitions and, of course, exhibitions. But I think in many ways it's a very exciting initiative because I always say that it works through capillary action. And a lot of the more micro conversations happening through this initiative don't always have a public face for the time being, but are definitely having a dramatic impact on the institution. But it's rare that we have events like this where we really do get to bring the forum to a more public level. So we're thrilled that you're all here to join us this evening to get a glimpse of what these 3 fantastic women are working on. They're all have been working for many years, but will be working towards serious projects that I think will have a large impact on how we view globalism, but certainly the role of women and feminism within that. And I think this raises a lot of questions about who has been inside and outside the frame, but what the frame itself is and how we should be redefining that, or how many frames do we really need to start to effectively invent, to start rethinking and rewriting these histories, or in some cases writing them for the first time. So we'll be going, we'll have roughly 10-minute presentations from each of our guests, and then we'll open it up to a conversation between the 4 of us, and then ultimately to your questions as well. So again, I'd like to welcome Gayatri Sinha. She's based in India and has published extensively, particularly on women and feminism. She's also established something called the Critical Collective, and one of the things that's come up with our conversations with her over the past few days is collective practice and its long history in India, particularly in the 1990s, but we've been talking also about more recent practices and ways in which these sort of collaborative initiatives have had a strong impact in the region. I'd also like to welcome Agata Jakubowska from the Adam Mickiewicz University. Sorry for my mispronunciation. So she's also working extensively on women in the region. Of course, many of you will have seen Yelena Sapochnikov's show that was here a couple of years ago, and you've worked quite a bit on her work. And I was very happy to meet Cecilia Fajardo-Hill for the first time by surprise when she was in our research center in the Media and Performance Department working on what will no doubt be a very exciting exhibition on radical women in Latin America from 1960 to 1985. That will be taking place in Los Angeles at the Hammer Museum as part of the Getty Specific Standard Time project in 2017. So welcome to the three of you, and Gayatri, please feel free to start.